Hi again folks, how you all doing? In my last video I mentioned that I had an unexpected and very special donation coming my way. Now, I've been getting a lot of emails recently offering me stuff, offering donations of all sorts, and I'm having to start to say no thank you to most of it. Not because I don't want it or appreciate it, the exact opposite. It's really just because I don't really have the room anymore. I've got an awful lot of stuff sitting there waiting to be looked at that I'll get around to at some point. Any donated locomotives that are in good condition and I can get going and sell on eBay for charity or keep for my fleet or whatever. They tend to get priority over the donations, but there's a lot of other stuff just sitting there that I've just never had time to get around to looking at or processing in any way. Yeah, and the other thing is when I get donations, if it's something that I think would make a good video, that can really interrupt my schedule for doing repair requests and layout updates and all the rest of it, so things can get a little bit hectic. So I've been turning down donations, unless they're scrap locomotives that I can use for spare parts, or any spares themselves. I can always use spares. So if you do have old scrap locomotives or spare parts of any description that you would like to send to me, by all means get in touch. But a chap called James from Australia got in touch, and he said he would like to send me something as a little celebration of my 300 videos. And initially I didn't reply to him, and it kind of got lost in the noise because I get a lot of emails. And he emailed again asking if I would like a donation. So I replied to him and explained the situation I'm currently in. But I asked him what it was he was intending to donate, because I didn't just want to say a flat no. If he was willing to, send me something from Australia, I thought, well, I owe him the courtesy of asking him what is it? Because if it was something that was just going to sit in a box here, I didn't want him, wasting his time and money on posting something from Australia. He then told me that he wanted to send me a brand new Accurascale Class 37. Now, I have to admit, that left me a bit flummoxed. No one has ever, effectively bought me a brand new locomotive before, and initially I felt I couldn't possibly accept it. But then I thought about it and kind of figured, well, if someone really wants to be that generous, that's just a really nice thing to do. So I felt I couldn't really refuse. Also, it wasn't just any Accurascale 37 he was sending, it was 37043 Loch Lomond, which is a locomotive I had seriously considered buying, but held off for some reason. I didn't like the idea of pre-ordering from Accurascale for some reason. Recently I've been looking at Lima and Bachmann 37s, but the cost of Bachmann's is just silly. So, I was considering the Accurascale if I could ever find one for sale, which I couldn't. So this was a very timely and very apt gift. So here is the locomotive that James has very generously sent to me. I'm not going to go into specific detail as to where and how this got here, but I can only thank James and those involved in procuring this amazing model for me, for which I cannot say thank you enough. Now, normally with a new model, I'd open it up and have a good look inside, but this thing, is a seriously complex model with all manner of fiddly-diddly, breaky-wakey bits and bobs, which, I'd just be putting at risk of breaking just now, so I'm going to leave it well alone. There are plenty of reviews of this model on YouTube by other well-known YouTubers, so I'm not going to review it or do an unboxing. It's a beautiful model of a great old diesel. I think part of the reason I was reluctant to get a new 37 of any description was because I didn't like the idea of kind of superseding my old R751. But there's no denying this is an amazing looking model. I've already run it in and had no issues with it whatsoever. I know some people had problems with the sandpipes, but I haven't. It's beautifully quiet and smooth. It's really heavy, and that's one thing I really like about these modern diesel models. This and my Bachmann 66 are hefty beasts, but they run all the better for it. Lots of traction, and they really trundle along in a very realistic way because of the weight. You can almost see the weight, if you know what I mean. This model has all sorts of DCC bells and whistles that I won't be seeing on DC, such as cab lighting and other stuff. It's a bit of a shame the cab lighting doesn't work on DC, but hey ho. The directional lights fore and aft work, but only over a certain voltage, I've noticed. Access to the DCC gubbins is via this nifty magnetic hatch, which is a great idea. I like that. So let's run this with my Mark II coaches, and we'll also run the Bachmann 170, which I was stupidly referring to as a 150 in my previous video. What a daft muppet. I had a 150 in mind when I went to the Falkirk exhibition, and when I saw this, it cost £150, so I think my dyscalculic brain got confused. But yeah, it's a class 170. So I think we'll also run the old 37 as well, just so it doesn't feel left out. But thanks again to James for sending me this, above and beyond generous. I feel horrendously guilty about accepting it, but also thrilled to have it. So thank you very, very much. Right, let's get Loch Lomond underway. So there we go, I'm now the proud owner of an Accurascale Class 37, which is the first Accurascale model I've had my hands on. And I have to say, yeah, wonderfully detailed, really good quality, runs like an absolute dream. And yeah, just a fantastic model, and I'm extremely lucky to have been very kindly given this by James in Australia. So, thank you again to him for this. I really don't know what else to say, but it is massively appreciated. With the 170 and now this, my top 10 needs revised, I think. My next video is going to be a repair request. I was hoping to get a layout update video in, but bridge works are still ongoing and delaying matters somewhat, but we'll get to that soon. I've also got a collection of donations to look at, so we'll get to those as well fairly soon. And given that I've benefited from some extreme generosity from you guys recently, it's only fair that I give something back. So yeah, I'll probably be doing a couple of Locomotive giveaways, I think, soon. So stay tuned on that one. Selling locomotives on eBay on a charity auction is all fine and well. It's, it benefits the charity and that's great. But the locomotives do tend to go for silly money, and it may be out of some people's price range. So I'd like to give some other people a chance. So I think possibly, do a locomotive giveaway and do just a kind of a lucky dip draw or something. We shall see. I'll need to think about that. Righto, folks. Thanks once again to James for this amazing Class 37. And yeah, I'm going to go and play with my diesels. Catch you later, folks.